The enigma of the Sigma male, a silent force that redefines power. Imagine a man who moves through life like a shadow, unseen yet undeniably influential. He doesn't seek applause, nor does he clamor for validation. Instead, he operates with a quiet precision that subtly shifts the dynamics around him. His mere presence unsettles those who thrive on dominance, not through confrontation, but through an unshakable sense of self. This is the Sigma male, a figure who exists outside the traditional hierarchy, rewriting the rules of power without uttering a single boast. Unlike the alpha male, who asserts authority through charisma, aggression, and visible displays of control, the Sigma male embodies a different kind of strength. He doesn't need to dominate the room to command respect. His influence is felt in the spaces between words, in the unspoken confidence that radiates from his actions. While alphas rely on external validation to fuel their self-worth, sigmas draw power from within, guided by an internal compass that renders them immune to societal pressures. Their mindset is enigmatic, difficult for the average person to decipher because it defies conventional expectations of leadership and success. In this exploration, we will delve into 8 compelling reasons why alpha males struggle to comprehend, and often feel threatened by, the Sigma male's presence. From their ability to effortlessly replace alphas in leadership roles to their unnerving knack for exposing the fragility behind performative masculinity, Sigma males represent a quiet revolution in the dynamics of power. They don't compete, they transcend. They don't demand respect, they earn it without trying. And in doing so, they reveal the insecurities lurking beneath the alpha's carefully constructed facade. This isn't just a clash of personalities, it's a fundamental challenge to the way society defines strength, success, and influence. By the end of this discussion, you'll understand why the Sigma male's rise is more than just a trend. It's a silent rebellion against the outdated notion that leadership must always be loud, aggressive, and domineering. Are you ready to uncover why alpha males can't stand Sigma males, and why that very discomfort proves the Sigma's superiority? Let's begin. Number 1. The silent threat: how Sigma males can effortlessly replace alphas. The most unsettling truth for alpha males is this: Sigma males possess every quality necessary for dominance, yet consciously choose not to wield it in traditional ways. Where alphas rely on overt displays of authority, commanding attention through sheer force of personality, Sigmas operate from a place of quiet, unshakable competence. They have the strategic mind of a general, the resourcefulness of a survivor, and the decisive clarity of a CEO, yet they deploy these skills with surgical precision rather than public spectacle. This creates a psychological power dynamic that fundamentally destabilizes the alpha's worldview. Consider a high-stakes corporate environment where leadership is typically defined by charismatic speeches and visible displays of control. The Sigma male in this scenario moves differently. He's the one quietly analyzing the company's weaknesses during meetings, privately mentoring key team members, and solving systemic problems before they become crises. His ability to influence outcomes without occupying the traditional leader role makes him infinitely more dangerous to the alpha's position. The Sigma doesn't need the corner office to shape the organization's direction. His impact radiates through the quality of his work and the respect he naturally commands. What truly terrifies the alpha is the realization that the Sigma's leadership potential remains perpetually untapped. Like a chess grandmaster who could checkmate in 3 moves but chooses to prolong the game, the Sigma male's restraint highlights the alpha's neediness. While the alpha's identity depends on titles, recognition, and social proof of their dominance, the Sigma derives authority from something far more potent: the unspoken understanding that he could take control whenever he chooses, and his deliberate refusal to do so makes that latent power even more formidable. Number 2. The Emperor's New Clothes: how Sigma males reveal the alpha's performance. Alpha males construct elaborate personas built on performative masculinity, the booming voice, the exaggerated stories of conquest, the constant jockeying for social position. These behaviors aren't just personality traits, they're a carefully engineered facade designed to project invincibility. The Sigma male, through his mere existence, becomes the child who points out the Emperor has no clothes. In any competitive environment, the contrast between these 2 archetypes becomes glaringly obvious. Take a military unit where the alpha officer barks orders and demands constant deference, while the Sigma sergeant quietly earns his squad's loyalty through competence under fire. Or observe a sales team where the alpha rep dominates client meetings with flashy presentations, while the Sigma studies the client's actual needs and closes deals through tailored solutions rather than theatrics. The Sigma's approach creates an uncomfortable mirror. His results can't be dismissed as luck or circumstance, which forces observers to question why the alpha needs so much fanfare to achieve less. This exposure operates on multiple psychological levels. First, it reveals the alpha's need for constant validation as compensation rather than confidence. Second, it demonstrates that real power doesn't require an audience. The Sigma's influence persists even when no one is watching. Most devastatingly, it proves that the Alpha's entire leadership style might be an elaborate coping mechanism for deeper insecurities. When a Sigma male solves a problem the Alpha couldn't, or achieves results without the Alpha's chest-thumping dramatics, it doesn't just make the Alpha look bad, it suggests that everything the Alpha believes about power and masculinity might be fundamentally flawed. The Sigma's quiet effectiveness creates cognitive dissonance in the Alpha's mind. If dominance can be exercised without aggression, if respect can be earned without demands, then perhaps the Alpha has been investing energy in the wrong strategies all along. This revelation is psychologically violent to someone whose identity is built on being the top dog, explaining why Alphas often react to Sigmas with either irrational hostility or desperate attempts at co-option, neither of which the Sigma male particularly cares about. Number 3, the Duel of Egos versus the Marathon of Self-Mastery. Why Sigma males render Alpha competition irrelevant. The Alpha male exists in a perpetual state of social warfare, his psyche wired to interpret every interaction as a zero-sum game of dominance. His mental energy is consumed by scanning environments for challengers, calculating social hierarchies, and engineering situations where he can emerge as the victor. This constant outward competition creates an exhausting psychological treadmill. The moment he wins against one rival, another must be identified to maintain his sense of worth. His self-concept is a house of cards built on being perceived as the strongest, smartest, and most impressive person in any room. The Sigma male dismantles this entire paradigm simply by refusing to play the game. His competitive drive is directed inward in a relentless pursuit of self-mastery. Where the Alpha spends evenings networking to build alliances, the Sigma is mastering a new language. While the Alpha obsesses over outspending rivals with luxury purchases, the Sigma invests in skills that compound over time. This creates a profound asymmetry. The Alpha must keep winning to maintain status, while the Sigma accumulates irreversible competence that can't be undermined by social politics. Consider two entrepreneurs. The Alpha founder constantly compares funding rounds and media coverage with rivals, altering his strategy based on competitors' moves. The Sigma founder disappears for months at a time, emerging only when he's built something so innovative that comparisons become irrelevant. The Alpha's need for relative superiority forces him into reactive strategies, while the Sigma's self-referential progress allows him to operate on an entirely different timeline and metric system. This dynamic drives Alphas to irrational frustration because the Sigma's value system is literally incomprehensible to them. An Alpha can't process why someone wouldn't care about beating others. To the Alpha mind, this suggests either weakness or deception. The Sigma's indifference to social competition doesn't just make him hard to manipulate, it subtly reveals that the Alpha's entire worldview might be based on a false premise about human achievement. Number 4, the Human Lie Detector, how Sigma males invalidate Alpha manipulation tactics. Alpha males often operate like skilled illusionists. Their influence relies on carefully crafted personas, strategic information control, and exploiting others' emotional needs. They're masters of the dramatic gesture, public generosity that's later leveraged, the performative crisis, problems exaggerated to demand loyalty, and the credibility play, name-dropping to bypass scrutiny. These tactics work brilliantly on people who accept surfaces at face value. Against a Sigma male, they shatter like glass. Sigma males possess what intelligence agencies call anomaly detection capabilities. Their observational skills border on the forensic, noticing how an Alpha's storytelling details shift between audiences, detecting micro-expressions that betray true feelings, or identifying when supposed offhand comments are actually carefully planted narratives. Where others see charisma, the Sigma sees patterns. Where people feel flattered by attention, the Sigma recognizes the transaction being proposed. A classic example unfolds in corporate settings. An Alpha executive casually mentions his friendship with the CEO during a meeting, a power play designed to intimidate. The Sigma notices three things. 1. The name drop occurs precisely when the Alpha's proposal faces skepticism. 2. The claimed relationship contradicts known facts about the CEO's schedule. And 3. No follow-up is offered when questioned. Rather than confront the lie directly, the Sigma might respond with a single arched eyebrow or deliberately change the subject. Silent signals that the manipulation failed, without granting the Alpha the drama he craves. This creates a unique psychological torture for Alphas. Their entire playbook relies on others accepting performances as reality. The Sigma's ability to see behind the curtain, and his refusal to either openly challenge or play along, forces the alpha into uncomfortable choices, either abandon tactics that usually work, undermining his confidence, or escalate into increasingly obvious manipulations, revealing his desperation. Meanwhile, the Sigma remains unmoved, his analytical detachment serving as both armor and weapon against games he never agreed to play. The most devastating Sigma maneuver? Allowing the alpha to fully commit to a flawed strategy before reality intervenes. Like a chess player who lets an opponent waste moves on irrelevant attacks, the Sigma understands that the best way to defeat manipulation is often to let it exhaust itself against the unyielding wall of his silent discernment. Number 5. The Unconventional Pathfinders, How Sigma Males Rewrite the Rules of Achievement. Sigma males approach success like master cryptographers solving an elaborate cipher. Where others follow the instruction manual, they search for backdoors and hidden patterns. While alpha males are busy climbing the visible ladder of conventional achievement, corporate promotions, public accolades, social media clout, Sigma males are tunneling beneath the system, creating their own routes to power that bypass traditional checkpoints entirely. This unconventional approach manifests in several fascinating ways. Sigma males tend to be early adopters of undervalued skills. They were learning coding before the tech boom, studying behavioral psychology before it became corporate buzzword fodder, or mastering obscure financial instruments years before mainstream adoption. Their success comes not from following trends, but from anticipating waves before they form. Where an alpha might spend years cultivating the right connections at industry mixers, the Sigma is more likely to have built relationships with anonymous but influential figures in niche online forums, relationships based on genuine competence rather than social maneuvering. Consider the case of a Sigma entrepreneur versus his alpha counterpart. The alpha launches his startup with great fanfare, press releases, investor roadshows, and carefully staged product demos. The Sigma builds his company differently. He quietly acquires a small but fanatically loyal customer base through underground communities, develops proprietary technology in stealth mode, and only emerges publicly when he's already dominating a specialized market. To outsiders, his success appears sudden and inexplicable. In reality, it's the result of a calculated, low-profile strategy that conventional players didn't even recognize as competition until it was too late. What makes this approach so unsettling to alpha males is that it invalidates their core belief system, that success must be visibly earned through approved channels. The Sigma's ability to achieve outsized results through unconventional means suggests there might be flaws in the alpha's playbook. Even more frustrating for alphas is the realization that they can't easily replicate the Sigma's methods, because while alpha strategies rely on observable behaviors, charisma, aggression, social proof, Sigma strategies are rooted in unteachable qualities like patience, pattern recognition, and comfort with solitude. Number 6. The Silent Storm, the Psychological Impact of Sigma Male Presence. Sigma males possess a paradoxical quality: they command attention by not seeking it. Their physical presence carries an almost electrical charge of latent capability, a sense that behind their calm exterior lies formidable, barely restrained potential. This creates a unique psychological phenomenon. People instinctively afford Sigmas respect and space without understanding why, much like how experienced woodsmen give wide berth to sleeping predators. The Sigma's intensity manifests in subtle but unmistakable ways. His gaze has laser-focus quality that makes casual small talk feel inadequate. His posture communicates relaxed readiness, not the puffed-up aggression of an alpha, but the economical movements of someone who conserves energy for meaningful action. Even his silence carries weight, creating an aura of mystery that conventional social players find both intriguing and unsettling. In social settings, you'll notice people unconsciously adjusting their behavior around Sigmas, speaking more thoughtfully, moderating their humor, revealing less than they normally would. This dynamic is particularly destabilizing for alpha males, whose entire social strategy depends on predictable responses to dominant behavior. An alpha expects his loud entrance to trigger either submission or challenge. The Sigma provides neither. The Sigma might acknowledge the alpha with a slight nod before returning to his quiet observation, treating the alpha's performance with polite indifference rather than engagement. This non-response is more psychologically damaging than any direct challenge, because it implies the alpha's display wasn't even worth proper attention. The Sigma's aloofness serves multiple strategic purposes. It creates an information asymmetry. While others reveal themselves through chatter, the Sigma gathers intelligence through observation. It establishes an automatic filtering system. Only those with genuine substance will attempt meaningful engagement. It conserves vital energy that would otherwise be wasted on social maintenance. In professional environments, this quality allows Sigma males to bypass petty office politics entirely. While alphas are busy jockeying for visible wins in meetings, sigmas are often granted influence simply because others assume they must be important. Why else would someone carry themselves with such quiet assurance? This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as the sigma's reputation grows precisely because he never stoops to self-promotion. The alpha finds himself shouting ever louder to maintain center stage, while the sigma exerts gravitational pull simply by being. Number 7. The attention paradox, how sigma males reverse the laws of social gravity. The alpha male operates under a fundamental misunderstanding of human psychology. He believes attention must be seized through force of personality, like a conqueror claiming territory. His playbook consists of theatrical storytelling, conspicuous consumption, and carefully staged demonstrations of competence. He'll interrupt conversations to share achievements, drop humble brags into discussions, and orchestrate situations where he can play the hero. This approach does generate attention, but of a fragile kind, the sort that dissipates the moment someone more interesting enters the room. Sigma males understand a deeper truth, that genuine respect cannot be demanded, only earned through silent demonstration of value. Their magnetism operates on an entirely different frequency. When a sigma male enters a space, you'll notice subtle shifts in the social ecosystem. Conversations become more measured, postures straighten slightly, and there's an unconscious redistribution of attention toward him. This occurs without any overt action on his part, stemming instead from what psychologists call reticent charisma, the compelling power of someone who clearly doesn't need validation but nonetheless commands it. Consider two surgeons at a medical conference. The alpha surgeon dominates the cocktail hour, loudly recounting his innovative techniques to anyone within earshot. The sigma surgeon stands slightly apart, until a colleague quietly asks about a complex case. His brief, precise explanation of a groundbreaking procedure he developed draws an expanding circle of fascinated listeners. Within minutes, the room's energy has realigned around him, while the alpha's audience slowly drifts away. The sigma didn't seek this attention, he simply became its focal point by virtue of substance over spectacle. This dynamic drives alphas to particular frustration because it reveals an uncomfortable truth: their constant striving for recognition may actually diminish their perceived status. Like a tourist shouting in a foreign country to be understood, the alpha's efforts highlight his insecurity, while the sigma's quiet assurance communicates mastery. The more desperately the alpha seeks validation, the more he confirms the sigma's approach as superior, creating a vicious cycle where the alpha's neediness becomes increasingly visible against the sigma's composed backdrop. Number 8. The humility paradox, how sigma males weaponize understatement. Alpha males mistake visibility for importance and volume for value. Their pride manifests in carefully curated displays of achievement, LinkedIn updates about minor professional milestones, Instagram posts showcasing luxury purchases, and dinner party monologues about accomplishments. This behavior stems from a fundamental anxiety, the fear that if they don't constantly proclaim their worth, others might not recognize it. Their self-worth exists in the space between their claims and others' validation of those claims. Sigma males operate from an entirely different ontological position. Their confidence is an internal gyroscope, calibrated to personal standards rather than public opinion. You'll never hear a sigma male announce he's humbled by some achievement. If he's genuinely humble, he wouldn't mention it at all. His accomplishments might surface months or years later, revealed casually in context or discovered by others independently. This creates an aura of depth and substance, the sense that there's always more to him than what's visible on the surface. The power of sigma humility manifests in several ways. The snowball effect of discovery: when others uncover a sigma's achievements organically, the impact multiplies. A colleague stumbling upon a sigma's patent filing or published research carries more weight than any self-promotion. The integrity premium: in an age of personal branding, the sigma's refusal to play the game makes his rare statements inherently more credible. The mystique factor: by not cataloging his successes, the sigma creates intrigue. People wonder what else he might have done that they don't know about. An alpha real estate developer might fill his office with models of his projects and newspaper clippings about his deals. His sigma counterpart's office contains only a few books and a single framed photo, until a visitor notices the photo shows him receiving a prestigious industry award he never mentioned. The alpha's displays announce, "Look what I've done," while the sigma's subtlety whispers, "Imagine what else I could do." This humility isn't false modesty, it's a strategic advantage. While the alpha expends energy maintaining his persona, the sigma conserves his for actual achievement. When the alpha's claims inevitably face scrutiny, the sigma's underpromising and over-delivering creates constant positive surprises. Most importantly, this approach forces the world to come to him. People actively seek out the sigma's input and approval, whereas the alpha must chase after people's attention. In the long game of reputation and influence, the Sigma's humility proves to be the ultimate power move. Conclusion: the Sigma shift, redefining power in the modern era. The contrast between Sigma and Alpha males reveals more than personality types, it highlights an evolution in how we perceive true influence. Alphas operate on fading principles of dominance through visibility, the loud, attention-driven leadership of past generations. Sigmas represent a new paradigm, power through quiet competence, strategic patience, and unshakable self-assurance. Sigmas challenge society's core assumptions about success. They prove leadership doesn't require constant performance, that real worth isn't measured in social currency, and that influence flows naturally from capability rather than forced authority. While alphas burn energy maintaining their personas, Sigmas thrive through what psychologists call quiet ego, drawing strength from internal standards rather than external validation. This approach proves increasingly valuable in our complex world. In business, Sigmas innovate quietly, like developers whose open-source work becomes indispensable. Socially, they bypass hierarchies by focusing on genuine connections over status games. Personally, they demonstrate that self-mastery outweighs the need for constant recognition. The Sigma rise reflects a cultural shift away from performative success. As society grows tired of empty hype, the Sigma's authentic, substance-driven path gains traction. Their strength comes from emotional resilience rather than displays of dominance, from quiet capability rather than forced authority. The question isn't if Sigmas will surpass Alphas, it's happening. The real issue is whether outdated models of power can survive in a world that increasingly rewards substance over spectacle. The Sigma male isn't just choosing a different path, he's redefining what power means in the modern age. Thank you for watching.